I'd like to talk about the future vertical lift. And as you know, is a plan to develop a family of helicopters for the Army which will share common hardware such as sensors, avionics, engines, and countermeasure. It kind of sounds vaguely similar to the F-35, you know, when we went down the path of having these variants of aircraft. It didn't work out the way we planned, but nonetheless, here we are. This FVL is meant to develop replacements for the UH-60 Blackhawk, the AH-64 Apache, the CH-47 Chinook, the OH-58 Kiowa helicopters. The program is in the RDT&E phase. Fielding will not begin for several years, but the Army, as you know, is putting $800 million towards the FY20 and $5.7 billion across the FYDP. There's a sense that the Army may be moving extremely aggressively in order to field this capacity or capability at the expense of existing programs. There are some people who believe that. General, in regard to the future vertical lift in your ambitious efforts, how important will these aircraft be in a fight against a near-peer competitor?
So, thank you, Congressman, for the question. Going back to Dutch, or going back to Congressman Rubensberger, on the American way of war, the operational tactical piece. Fires, long-range precision fires, number one. So the next thing is move. So shoot and move, and that then gives you maneuver. Armies move two ways, or actually three, one by foot, one by vehicle, one by helicopter. So the future vertical lift is absolutely fundamental to the Army's ability to execute maneuver warfare. The program Future Vertical Lift really has two components to it, an attack piece and a lift piece. And you mentioned what they're going to replace. They will essentially double the range of existing systems, double the speed, the agility, the survivability, and lethality of existing systems, unlike any existing helicopter of any nation on Earth today. If we're able to achieve it, and I believe the technology is there, and I believe we're doing the demonstration, the prototypes now, the reason we're putting so much money into this is to ensure that we can field the force by the mid to late 20s with first units equipped of these aircraft to restore Army dominance for ground maneuver in the conduct of ground warfare. It's critical. So the combination of those priorities, long-range precision fires, future vertical lift, and next-generation combat vehicle will restore Army dominance against a near peer.
And if I may, sir, I don't want to use up all your time, but this is a great opportunity to connect some dots. You talked about how we're doing modernization differently. So here's a program whereby over the last several years, industry has invested $4 for every $1 the Army has invested. And we now have 2 prototypes flying with regard to future vertical lift. And it shows just a great partnership that we've developed by giving predictability, by emphasizing future vertical lift. The second point you made is there's concern out there, maybe an atmosphere about are we moving too quickly and maybe neglecting the current fleet. The current fleet we have will be with us for decades. So the CH-47s are the youngest aircraft, on average 8 years or less. They will be with us through the 2030s, probably the 2040s. The Apaches, we are remanufacturing, rebuilding 48 a year. They will be with us well into the 2030s. Same with the Blackhawks. We're upgrading all those. So we feel very comfortable with where we stand with the current fleet. It's a very capable fleet. It still allows us overmatch with regard to our adversaries, but we need to get to a system that can do what the chief said, penetrating range, higher payload, speed, lethality. And that's why we want to move to the future vertical lift now. I think industry is with us on this, and we feel very good about the path forward.
Thank you, and I have to go up and vote. Thank you very much.